Dillon and Company, your new favorite online bookstore where you can find a vast selection of books across all genres. Invite you to visit their website at DillonandCo.com. Discover countless titles and special offers that will captivate your reading interest. Remember, that's DillonandCo.com. DillonandCo.com. Your go-to destination for all your literary needs.
To meet
Doug Sims Live.
That boy is good.
Say less.
Look, if you laugh at what I'm finna tell y'all, you're on your own right here.
Well, let us know how you got that ring.
Right.
Fly live. Fly live.
Only Jane can do that. We don't want to be canceled.
Make sure you check out Doug Sims Live as we get into some hot topics, some great information, some newsworthy headlines, and of course some conversations with the crew. I'm talking Rachel Parker, Melly Mel, and Jane Jones right here on Doug Sims Live, Monday from 7 to 10 a.m. Make sure you get up, check us out. Doug Sims Live, Grander Radio.
And as always, stay hungry for more chicken wings and fried rice. Combo number 24.
All right, back in the building. Got the whole crew in the building, plus one, if you will.
Plus one.
We're gonna say
Bonus
plus
in the
one. So
house.
we're gonna start off with myself, Mr. DJ Metro, right here in the building, hanging out. To my immediate front, we
got your girl, aka out the building, Rach with the Y, and I'm in here today. I'm not the highlight, but I'm here. And we have Miss, All-Stater.
Jane Jones, your local realtor, here to educate, empower, and guide you through the home buying and selling process. And I think we should go to Mel next so he can introduce himself.
Yeah, man. Big country in the building, man. Of course, I got to give a special shout out to DJ Metro. Happy birthday, big dog.
Yeah.
He just had a birthday that passed, so we got to celebrate it with him a little bit.
So y'all better say happy birthday.
Happy belated,
All in
man.
the comments, man. All in the comments.
all $100 bills are welcome. we just gonna put it out there like that. $100.
He gonna post his cash app
Oh
later.
yeah,
$100 biller right here. So who we got? So in the building we have a new addition to the crew. We have the sports goddess, but this time we have, what are we going to call him?
My better half.
Your better half?
That's a good one.
We can do that. We can do the better half.
Better half. All right.
She gets all her sports takes from me. So
This is the behind the scenes.
Okay, so
It's
the alley oop.
oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
There it
pretty
is.
Because I've been like, man, I thought I read up on this. How
that's
she
what
know
I'm
this?
saying. Nah, that's what I'm
He
saying.
got a
Okay.
ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter for sure.
For real, for real.
For sure.
I'm talking about John Stockton.
You Drake for real.
You know?
Now, that's that old school. So go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
So my name's Donovan Jones. I am. I don't have any AKAs or anything. I'm just Donovan Jones.
He's a humanoid on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Humanoid.
I walk around. I'm cool. I'm in the background, but I am a special guest, just enjoying the festivities. And happy birthday to my man Doug Sims.
Yay!
For sure.
Let's welcome.
He's gonna give us our
I got a
hot
couple.
takes
I got
on
a
all
couple.
things sport.
I got a couple takes.
Couple takes.
Couple
I
of
can't
big
wait
ones.
to hear his take on a food for thought later on. It's about to get spicy. We got
Y'all
the
trying
whole
to get
couple in the
jammed up out
building.
here.
Ooh.
Hey, one country's ideal, y'all. In one country's.
I still got to drive home with her, like just to let you know this.
Oh
So
yeah.
y'all.
He gonna
Rachel, I'm gonna need a ride.
he gonna sit on the
We
roof.
go carpool.
All right, y'all. Looks like we have a bunch of topics to go through, and of course, we're gonna check out my man Donovan's sports take, his picks, and whatever else he has to throw at us, along with the sports goddess. So he's gonna throw an alley oop to her, and we'll see if she can take control of it. See if she can bring it home. See if she can bring it on home. So you guys keep it locked right here. So I don't know about you guys, but as people get older, they go through different challenges, different mental challenges, or what have you. But one thing that I cannot see myself doing is self-checking out.
At a store?
Right. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Myers,
those cameras be
Walmart.
something
Okay,
else.
so my terminology might be a little different,
Okay.
but
Okay,
I'm not trying to
alright.
take my own self out. Let me say it like
Right.
that.
Not trying to unalive yourself.
We got to use TikTok language.
Right. Okay.
I know nothing about that right there, So, but over there, Switzerland, several arrests have been made after an American woman dies in first use of controversial suicide pod.
Suicide pod.
A suicide pod. So people are actually
Wow.
thinking about getting into this self-contained pod and checking out,
Really?
So what is
taking
this?
themselves out.
So the pod is just like there's no air, and then you just go in there and just.
Yeah, it's chemicals and stuff, but it just, you end your life on your own terms.
Wow.
In Switzerland.
Yeah. So, per the article, Swiss police have arrested several people after a capsule designed to allow its occupant to end their lives was used for the first time. Police in Schaffhausen.
Bless you.
So police in Schaffhausen said the Sarko capsule has been used in Marissa House. Ooh, them some names for you. Prosecutors have opened proceedings against several for aiding and abetting suicide, detaining several without providing details. The group behind the capsule, The Last Resort, stated that the deceased was a 64-year-old woman with severely compromised immune system. Now,
Really?
How do
Okay.
you her choice?
so
Right.
even if you're in the hospital, in American hospital that is,
Yeah.
you have to sign all kind of papers.
Yeah.
Just to
If you-
die.
yeah,
that-
just
I mean,
to do
to
that. Yeah.
unalive. Excuse me.
Well,
Yeah.
no. To not. To.
There's a
not
process.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Do
I
not
mean-
resuscitate. Is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Oh,
then,
talking
but
about
that's
that?
it. But that's in the event if you get to that point.
Right.
But some people actually want to take their own lives and
Right.
and just be done with it. And U.S. really doesn't allow that. I mean, unless you call in Dr. Kevorkian, now he might come at you.
Right.
But over here in this other country, they've built an apparatus, a machine, whatever you want to call it, a pod, where you can put yourself in that pod and self-check out.
Okay.
Which I don't know. The mind is powerful,
It is.
Right.
and it goes through peaks and valleys, highs and lows, ebbs and flows.
So it's just out there like playground equipment and people can easily access it, or do you have to go through a process?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a process. I'm sure you
I
have to
hope
go
so,
through.
because it's like kids can walk.
I'm sure
in.
you have
Yeah,
to go
but and
through.
then it says that she was an American. So like.
Yeah, she was
what?
an American. Well,
So she flew there too.
Yeah.
it doesn't state all that in the article.
Right.
But in other countries, there's different rules and regulations per whatever. I mean, just something off the top of my head, food regulations.
Right.
Yeah.
So things that we eat over here,
They can't
they
eat
ban
over
over
there.
there.
Exactly.
Right.
That's true.
So, money talks, and people want to self-check out, which that's a tough call for me to even think about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume that it would be, especially if she was an American woman, that there would have been checks and balances. She would have to get in contact with somebody over there.
Yeah.
Right. A family or something.
Or
Yeah,
just
'cause,
to
like-
even get to that point to gain access.
Well,
That's just
So-
me assuming.
I'm thinking she had enough money to fly to this country
Yeah.
and to pay for this service that she couldn't do in the States. That's my thought process. So
Okay.
So
All
much
right.
unknown.
Does it-
Do you have to pay for it though?
I'm sure you do. It just reminds me of a movie.
I mean, gas cylinders cost.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Chemicals
the
cost,
chemicals cost. You can't just
Yeah.
pick that up.
Right.
You can't just be like, I'm about to hop in.
I mean, that also shows your dedication because you're investing all this time
Right.
and
Right.
money
And
And you're
into
flying.
this
I mean,
Yeah.
your
moment.
commitment to your decision.
And then what's the process after? Like they come in. Never mind.
Yeah.
What's the
Never
cleanup?
mind.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
that,
nah,
like-
nah.
So it
It's so
puts
many questions.
Maybe that's what you pay for. It's the cleanup
Wow.
Cleanup service.
Yeah.
So I
Cleanup.
did watch this movie. It just puts me in that mind frame. This movie where they were, what's they call it, cryo kind
Yeah.
of deal, where they
Cryo
freeze you,
station.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Into the future, 25 years or 100 years or whatever it was. But instead of doing that, they actually killed the people.
Are you talking about
They burned them in these pods.
the movie?
Oh, yeah,
What
I
happened to
remember
Monday?
that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, where you could
is it?
only have one child that was born to every family because of population control.
Yep.
And they were saying that any other siblings or family members that families would have, they were freezing them for the future.
Exactly. There you go.
Turns out at the end they were actually just incinerating these
Right.
babies. But I don't want to ruin the premises. I love the movie. I
Nah,
actually
you can
just
ruin that
rewatched
'cause
it.
I ain't watching that.
There's so much more.
It was
It's
actually
surprising.
pretty good.
It's really good.
It's pretty good. But that right there just kind of puts me in that kind of mind frame or whatever, that you could put yourself in a pod to check out.
And maybe it'll just cremate you, and that's it. Just keep going around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
That's a lot
this is
of
a big
decision to make, though.
big decision.
for
It
sure.
sure is.
Well,
That was one for the
There's an
books for
option.
that one.
There's an option.
Yeah,
but
man.
We'll see how how
Talk.
popular this gets.
Get some help for that. Man.
well, I mean, think about it. Think about it. It's along the same lines as suicide, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is pretty much
You know,
suicide.
Except you're just doing it in comfort, I guess. I don't know.
You're doing it in comfort.
You know.
You're doing it in a way that nobody has to find you. Resources don't necessarily have to be used to save you or
Right.
clean up as much. I don't know. It kind of is appropriate in a way, but there's so much controversy on whether it's right
That
to
should be-
provide
Yeah,
that kind of a service.
it's more
but-
like I feel like it's like depends on who it is and your morals and your principles.
But
Yeah.
I mean, your body, your choice, right?
Yeah, pretty
Well, that's
much.
what I'm
'cause she
thinking
was,
too.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
saying that it said that she was immune compromised, so
Yeah.
she was
Yeah,
probably
sick.
so.
If you have an immune
Yeah.
issue or any type of,
And going through that and going to the doctors, your mental state is definitely dwindled, and
I
you don't
agree
have a
with
lot
that.
left.
I agree with that.
But making decisions in that state is,
It's hard.
yep.
What up, everybody? Melly Mel here with the crew. Man, how y'all doing?
We good.
chilling, bro.
What you got?
man.
What you got for us today?
So this is very important because everybody needs
Ooh,
what
he
they
put up
need.
his presidential hands. This is
You
very,
know.
very important.
Yeah, you see, I got
most
the-
important thing you'll ever hear.
I got the podium.
Talking with his hands.
Right.
y'all.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, we're going to have some setbacks on a lot of our goods in America, especially on the East Coast.
Not my sriracha.
So, oh man. So
got
they
that
look, they crazy, y'all. So New York and New Jersey is coordinating with partners across supply chains for a possible work stoppage.
Oh.
So the union, the ILA, are trying to work and negotiate with the United States Maritime Alliances, or for brief acronym USMX. So the whole ordeal is that I want more money because the cost of living is going up. I'm working more hours, this, that, and the third.
Me too. Me too.
I know, right? We all do.
Me too.
However, of course, the big man doesn't want to pay out.
Okay.
You know, just putting it in layman terms. However, the union knows that the workers is what drives the country. We already know that. Without the workers, we ain't getting nothing, right?
Right.
So the workers are really trying to come up with a game plan before October 1st, because that is the deadline, before they completely have a shutdown. So that includes roughly about $240 billion.
Okay.
It will affect over 700,000 plus local jobs. And
That's a lot of jobs, y'all.
right, and the local stores, even some of our big marketing stores like Myers, Walmart, will not
Myers
have.
with an S.
Myers with the S.
Yeah.
Okay, we got
I
you.
did it. I
Midwest
did it
Myers,
again.
right? That's how you spell it.
I love y'all. I love y'all from a distance. But anyway, you know, this is crazy that we are still going through these type of turmoils in 2024. You know what I mean? So it's like history is constantly repeating itself. And so now the Maritime is finally trying to work out something along with the United States to come up with a solution like, okay, this is your wages, this is, the job hours, and, we're trying to accommodate you guys because this is dangerous work. I don't know if y'all know, this is one of the most dangerous jobs you can actually work. Having something that weighs hundreds of thousands of pounds hovering over you over a crane. So I can understand that they're really demanding more money, insurance, low cost for insurance. So the whole ordeal is that they're declaring to introduce this same type of bill in the Alabama ports as well.
Okay.
And so if this goes through, that will also help benefit the East Coast as well as, the South and Texas ports. So that will be a phenomenal thing.
So
Right.
it has the potential to just kind of
Trickle
down.
Thank you. No words be catching. Words be catching. Sid. But what is you guys' intake on this whole ordeal? Because we have the union workers for the automotive companies, and you see how they, especially when Mitt Romney was going for office, bring back a little history, how they were going overseas. But now that it is affecting it on the water, because these are a lot of our goods.
Yeah.
How do you think that this is going to affect us as a whole in America, especially now during elections?
Just give them that
Is
money.
it a contract strike?
Just give me my money.
Give me my money.
But I mean,
Is it a contract strike?
Yes.
So the contract is up.
No. Yeah. So they
they're
want to do
negotiating?
a new contract
with more money.
with higher wages.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, if it's the end of the contract, they're not breaking the previous.
No, they're not breaking
Okay, so it's the
anything.
end of the contract.
Yep.
So what are they asking for? 3%, maybe.
They're not really coming up with a number. The information that I've caught was 4.5%.
Okay.
so they're
steep.
pretty much.
That's a decent number. I would
That's a
imagine
cost
that
of
for
living.
you. Well, yeah.
I mean,
That's a
thank
baseline
you.
cost
That's a
of living,
baseline
right?
for cost
Baseline
of
cost of
living.
living plus insurance as
Man.
well. I mean, you've already mentioned the hazard, the potential
Oh, yeah.
hazards of that job. That
And then you talking about like Texas, New York, New Jersey. These are high, costly states. Like, can you imagine what a New York apartment costs now?
yeah,
1 bedroom.
About 25
right.
for 400
Right.
square feet.
There we go. That's what we got, Jamie in
Right.
the house.
Closet.
Well, I guess just off the top of my head, I think a raise is good with all the different factors or what have you. But just think about COVID when supply chain was
Yeah,
at
Down.
a minimum,
Expanded.
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So if we want to put the country back in that position again,
Right.
then they won't pay them. And I don't think the country wants to be in that position again.
It
I
can't
think-
be.
Yeah, I
Right.
think they need to go ahead.
I need my team
We're still
order
trying to
to
fight
come
out of
through.
here.
I can't
Yeah.
just be
Makes
floating out
sense.
in the
Y'all
Pacific.
make so
right?
much
Yeah.
sense. But hearing and seeing the politics of today, I really am nervous, man.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
nervous because for the New York and Eastport, there's about 45,000 work. In the Texas, we're talking about 50 to 60,000
Right.
that are not going to pick up a button. I don't want to even touch the button.
So, just off the top of my head again, if you're looking at the grocery prices right now, everything is going up, and up. Now, just think if these people go on strike.
Right.
That tomato that's $2.99.
Right.
Ooh.
You're gonna have a
You know what
$5
I'm saying?
tomato out of here, man.
It's gonna go up big time because you can't get your produce in, you can't get your goods in. Some people can't get their Temu in.
Shit.
They're Shein. They're
I
Shein.
need a new steering wheel.
He just bought a mansion. Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop giving that man that money. He just bought a mansion.
So I'm just saying they're gonna have to weigh the options, but
Yeah. Well, also
What do you
this, and you got to think too. This may be a bad time for all that weather. Weather has a big impact. There's supposed to be a whole hurricane coming
Oh,
toward
man.
Right.
the south
That's-
right
I
now.
forgot about
They're
that.
gonna need
Yeah.
goods.
Typhoon.
Yeah, there's some things going on out here that if something catastrophic happens, God willing it doesn't, people are gonna need produce.
and not to mention that they are predicting inflation on everything.
Yep,
So
I've
if you
seen that.
put that on top of the strike, You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you also still need consumers to buy the goods. If we're not making enough money either
And you're
to
not finna
afford
make
it,
no money.
they're not gonna make no. They're not gonna have to import a whole lot because we can't afford it.
Yeah, only a certain amount of people that that
So
can
it's-
actually dish out the cash at that moment.
Right, the disposable income.
Better get a garden cracking.
Yeah.
You said get it what?
Better get a garden cracking.
Yes.
Something like that.
I'm
Yeah.
going.
Like,
I am going to
seriously.
Kathy Jones' house.
Yeah, no, we're going to her mom's crib.
Now we're back from our break, and Metro over here got me cracking up. But of course, we was talking about the port of what the strike is going to be on the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, Maine, Texas, and it's just going to be, from the conversations that we had from all the brainstorming, it's going to be a crazy, crazy ride after October 1st. So, what do you think, Rach? I know you got some intake on it.
Well, this kind of makes me think of what I've been hearing rumored in Canada, that Canadians have started to, I guess they consider it a small scale collective, but that they've started to refuse to pay rent, other utilities,
Wait a minute,
major
rent?
things. Yeah, but
I want to go on rent strike too.
and this has all been progressive since COVID-19, but
Right.
they're trying to not give it any credit for it being an organized movement. But progressively, there's some rumors saying that people are purposefully making a stand against the inflation rates by not paying their bills in Canada. So,
So
you
do
know,
we have to put it like in escrow or something?
Right, right. We sit it down.
if they can't afford it, no. I mean, that rent's going towards groceries and things like that. But with this, I mean, this kind of stalemate, people are already at the point where they're choosing gas or food. So your basic necessities right now.
Ooh.
Already
And if
tough.
something is going to be like that and it's halting, then we might just have, the perfect storm for the chaos to come.
That is, I didn't know Canada was like this thick with what was still going on.
Kind of like a strike, though,
You know
right?
what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I
the
mean, they're
strike been
striking
going
against-
on since what, 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Is
a
that
long
solely
strike.
based on how they're taxed out there, their taxation rates? Or is it just
Just really their inflation rates.
okay? Oh yeah. Okay.
So
inflation
pretty
rates, I
much,
got
yeah,
you.
because Canada is almost like living here in a way. Like with certain laws, I know certain laws are different, but they're like how the way of their life and living. It's like being in America. So
Still different. It's still different enough, I think.
I mean, but they're still dealing with rising prices just the same as us, and
right.
I can't imagine that it's not necessarily a global thing either. It's not just
No, I
isolated
don't-
to the
no, I don't
U.S.
think
So
I don't think so.
hopefully it can be a catalyst to something that's going to make a stand.
Because we need these prices to go down. You know what I'm
prices to
saying?
go
And Canada
down.
and the pound is exactly like the American dollar, almost. Cent for cent. So if you compare that, is it wrong to say I'm with the workers, even though it may have a tsunami effect on the people that are around, my neighbors, my family.
I would say yes, because at the end of the day, we're going to be in some way, shape, or form the people who something is going to affect, because this, like we said, everything is affecting all of us. So at what point does the madness stop? Like I got a big raise. I'm getting paid $700,000 a year now, but that's because a gallon of milk is $1,200. So where do you stop? Where
700,000 is
what kind of-
700,000.
Right.
It ain't
Where
worth
does it balance out?
So if we're just
Right.
making the same moves and adding more zeros to everything, when are we just going to stop and start over?
Yeah,
What's going to be that
$1,200
tipping
I'm growing
point?
cow.
And maybe something like this will be.
I'm growing a cow. $1,200
growing
a
a
gallon. I'm gonna grow a cow in the
I've seen
backyard.
some cattle on an open field the other day, and I was like,
AI, here I
can
come.
y'all get on my car?
I'm about to AI a cow.
Well, hopefully the ILA and
Reaches an
the
agreement.
USMX will be coming into an agreement real soon. Because most people don't understand and fathom like microchips.
Oh,
y'all
Lord,
like
you got to open up a
IT.
whole
Yeah, that's a whole different
You
pot.
know, yeah, but hey, it's the truth. So
Yeah.
go out there,
All in COVID.
Yeah, it was
But-
big.
Hopefully, something like this can set a precedent for some fair wages, the safety of people being considered, because I think that corporations have really gotten out of hand with
Where they run
some of
the
the
country.
basic things that people need, and for us to take a stand because we are the workforce,
Right.
we are the consumer. When are we going to exercise that power?
Power to the people. Yeah, for real.
So big news for all you home buyers and sellers out there. I am Jane Jones, your local realtor. And if you have been holding off on making a move, now would be a perfect time to jump back into the market. Mortgage rates have taken a dive to the lowest levels that we've seen since early 2023. Thanks to the Fed's jumbo interest rate cut. So let me break this down to you and let you know what this means for you. So mortgage rates drop. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage now averages about 6.09%, down from 6.2 last week. This is the lowest rate since February of 2023, significantly down from last fall's peak of 7.79%.
God.
Jane, that's still too expensive for my pocket.
I thought you said it went down. You know,
Hey, but you
I
know,
mean,
it hasn't
but
gone
this
down
is-
significantly like that in a while.
Yeah,
to be honest.
exactly. So this is
Yeah.
definitely
I agree.
the recent interest rate cuts are the first in 4 years.
What?
So more cuts are still expected by the end of the year. So you can still it still may be lower heading up to the end
so
of
I
the year.
should wait till like
So you
what
should be-
type which month?
I mean, now is kind of a good time to start looking or to get your pre-approval. So now would definitely be a good time to go and set your finances and look at your finances and sit down with a mortgage loan, a lender, and see what you may qualify for. And then you can still lock into a lower rate as it drops.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So definitely, if that's something you want to do, sit down and talk with a lender, and then connect with me, of course.
Yeah,
afterwards.
right.
Okay.
Well, some promotion. So, as a consumer, on the other side of things, what would you say are key factors to look for when considering maybe a refinancing your home, your already expensive loan?
Yeah, so looking at like how long you've lived in the house and how much equity that you have in the house in order to refi. So you definitely, if you have a higher interest rate and now the rates are lower, definitely talk to whoever your lending institution who owns the mortgage on your house. Start talking to them.
Okay.
And see if it makes sense for you to refi, because not every refinance makes sense.
Gotcha.
Of
But
course.
definitely talk to an expert
Okay.
in the lending side and the refinance. So definitely do that. But because there are lower interest rates, lower borrowing cost means that you can afford more.
More house for your
For
money.
more house.
Okay.
And a lot of it's based on our conversations too. What you tell me. I mean, you deal with a lot of first-time home buyers, and
They don't have a lot of down payment.
they don't have a lot of down
Right.
payment, but the process prior to even contacting you is key. So if you can get, as much information as you can, or just even get that process started prior to reaching out to Jane Jones, your local realtor, and that will help you out, because this is a hot market. It's going to remain a hot market. So
Oh, yeah.
the more you can get done early, the better. You put yourself in a position to maybe get the house that you really love instead of your second and third choice.
Yeah, because I think you're the first time you go house hunting is definitely, it's an emotion. You feel
Yeah.
all of the emotions, every feeling.
I feel like having another kid.
So despite the mortgage rate drop, sales of the existing homes in August actually fell by 2.5%. But that doesn't mean that necessarily that there's still not demand, because there's still not enough houses for the demand.
Right.
So inventory is also increasing, creating a favorable environment for home sales to pick up later. So if we still have a lot of inventory and then the rates drop, that means you may have more choices. And right now is kind of a slowdown time for us in real estate.
Right.
There's not as many people looking or wanting to move when it gets colder.
Of course.
Especially in Michigan,
Want
you
to
know?
pack in the snow.
Yeah, and then kids are settled into their schools and
Yeah.
things like that.
Right,
But if you are thinking about making a move, it is a good time to do that, especially with rates dropping. That could mean less competition for you guys. So home prices are still on the rise. The median home prices rose 3.1% in August, hitting a record high of 416,700.
Oh,
So that means your house is still worth more.
that's what's up.
Your house prices are still increasing.
I like that. That's a
Equity.
good investment, right?
Yeah,
there.
so equity.
Get that equity.
Thank you for joining us. Now, usually I am your sports goddess and I love to bring you everything sports. But today I have my better half who is actually going to tell you about, what are we talking about? Baseball?
So first, we're gonna
You're just going to get right to it.
yeah, we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna get exactly to it. So first, I want to say congratulations to Derrick Rose. He announced his retirement today.
D Rose.
D Rose out here, one of my favorite players ever. Played 15 seasons in the NBA. He was the number one draft pick in 2008 to the Chicago Bulls, and of course, Rookie of the Year. He was a 3-time All-Star and one-time first-team All-NBA. Also, the youngest player ever to win MVP at 22 in 2011.
That was a Club Shay Shay
that
type
was
of
cold.
intro. I
Right.
like that. Go ahead, give me a step.
I mean, I get to. That's what she gets it from me. So.
What?
Oh,
My
teach
ghostwriter.
one, teach one.
I don't know
Teach
that.
one, teach
I
one.
mean, I do
Talk
get
your
it
talk,
from
bro.
us.
I gotta
We
bring her
Watch sports
along.
together.
Gotta
Okay.
bring her along. But yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to D Rose. He had a great career. I was one of those ones that hoped he would have gotten a championship
Yeah.
before he got up out of here. But he did get 2 gold medals.
Yeah.
So that's an accomplishment as well. And amazing athlete. Unfortunately, injuries definitely cut his potential short. And you know, he was a journeyman around the league, but well respected veteran, and you know, that was my guy. So,
Yes, D Rose.
but we're gonna transition over to baseball.
Oh, baseball.
Baseball.
Swing,
Got the
better,
home
swing.
run.
Yeah, so my man Shohei Ohtani, the first
Say that again.
Shohei.
Hey.
Shohei Ohtani. He's essentially the first. So he is the first baseball player in history to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a
50
season.
stolen bases. That's
wow.
crazy,
Correct.
right?
Do y'all know how hard that is?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know how hard it is.
There are people
I'm
have,
tired already.
Stealing is
Yeah.
hard.
right.
Stealing's hard.
yeah, there are people who have had 50 and 50, but in separate seasons. But in one season, not only is he you know, I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest, if not athletes, baseball players of all time. But I mean, he's a pitcher as well. He's not pitching this year, but you know, he's a hell of a pitcher as
So
well.
he's a pitcher, and then he plays the other.
DH is
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, he's 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. But the big controversy right now is with the home run ball, the number 50, the home run ball. So there is a young man, an 18-year-old by the name of Max Matus. So he
Made us what?
yeah. So essentially, my man Max has a lawsuit going for the 50-50 ball.
So he won't give it up.
Well, here's what happened. So the 18-year-old, by the name of Max Matus, went to the game, and it was a game between the Marlins and the Dodgers. When Shohei Ohtani, sorry about that, hit the home run ball. Essentially, my man Max said he got the ball. He seen the ball coming to him, grabbed it. After he grabbed it, in his mind, he said, "This is the 50 home run ball. I'm going to keep it." In his story, a gentleman, an adult, came up to him, grabbed his arm, and took the ball from him.
Ooh.
now that ball is on auction right now. The auction set. Golden Auctions will proceed with the scheduled auction of it, but my man Max has hired an attorney, and they have filed a grievance, and essentially they have a case coming up on October 10th. So the judge has halted the auction of the 50 home run ball, just to see if Max was indeed the one who got the ball. And that's the big controversy right now.
There's probably got to be some video evidence.
Yeah, there's
especially
always some.
There's got to be
So
something.
many
That-
cameras and for that moment.
Yeah,
The
that
initial
specific
starting
moment.
bid on the ball is $500,000.
Wow.
That's
Wow,
the starting
that's the
bid.
Starting, but
bid.
To
you
even
know that's
get
going to
into
escalate
it.
crazy.
$500,000.
So he allegedly stole it from this 18-year-old.
He allegedly stole it
And
from
it's
the
just like another
18-year-old.
random
Stole it from
guy.
an 18-year-old, though.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like some 6-year-old kid caught it and somebody swindled him, but
You ain't fight back?
18?
No.
You ain't fight back? You ain't swing?
My man Max was right there. Said somebody
do it
took
now.
it from him, and now it's on auction, and he ain't having it. He's trying to get that
He
ball.
better
back.
get his coins.
I feel like he did the right thing and went lawyer. He lawyered up, went legal.
Correct.
You know, because if you would have hit him, come on. Now, you know they would have
He,
went
he,
to.
still, he still would have been in the right though, because you're
Right, because he caught the
he
ball.
caught the ball. It's his property now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're taking it from him right out the palm of his hand. So you're actually stealing or strong arming, however you want to put it.
Right, right.
What? So he would have been with his right,
Right.
left, and uppercut.
Right. We'll see if it is indeed true that my man Max got the ball and some grown man tried to jack him for the ball. Then hopefully he can win his case and get his bread. So but we'll see going forward. Hopefully Max can get some justice, because I believe he caught that thing and y'all took my man's ball. That's disrespectful.
He was like, Debo.
Best of luck to you.
He said he was like, Debo, that's my bike.
And we're going to continue with sports. We're going to transition over to NIL. There's a little controversy going on right now.
Analyzed.
And the life
Stand for.
NLE Chapel.
Yeah. Break it down for the simple
Break it
folk
down.
like us.
And the others that don't know what that means.
NIL. So NIL is essentially name, image, and likeness. So it can be traced back to the early 2000s. Actually, two former UCLA basketball players, the O'Bannon brothers, essentially started with it with a class action lawsuit about name, image, and likeness. And over the years, it's been discussed, and it transitioned into actually college players able to get paid off their name, image, and likeness. This was a big controversy, especially with the gentleman I'm going to bring up right now, Reggie Bush. He had his Heisman stripped
Hey,
away.
Reggie.
Yeah, my man Reggie was nice. My man Reggie was nice. But yeah, he had his Heisman stripped away, and then USC had their national championships stripped away, and I think they voided a year. But now my man Reggie, since he's got his Heisman back, and I believe USC has their has their wins, and I think they reinstated or gave him back the championship win as well.
They did.
Yeah, I believe they did.
Yeah.
I believe they did.
They might as well have. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
But he
Yeah.
deserved
Especially
it.
when Reggie
Yeah. I
was
got
mad that
his
they took it.
Heisman.
I was mad
we
that they
talked
took it
about
as
that.
well. I was mad they took it as well. But Reggie is taking it further. He's actually suing the NCAA, USC, and the Pac-12 over NIL non-compensation.
Get that money.
Yeah, no,
Real.
Reggie's trying to come back and trying to get it back in blood a little bit.
Right.
I like it.
I like,
Yeah, I like it.
Because he's been docile for so long.
Yeah.
He's been ever since the Heisman.
That controversy
ordeal,
really
it
just
shut
it
him
really
canceled
down.
him,
Yeah,
essentially.
it shut
Yeah.
him down. So I'm glad he's mentally, back onto the strong horse, getting back into the game.
For sure.
So back in his day, was the NIL even a thing back then?
So not to the extent that it is now. I mean, back then it was kind of
like
known
unwritten.
that the top tier players were getting something. And that I think that was a part of his argument as well. It's like, I'm not the only one, but I mean, they singled him out because he was the main guy at that point. But NIL definitely was not, what it is now. I mean, it was still kind of looked down upon. out on the outside looking in, you can kind of see that these players were actually getting something. It was kind of a known thing. It was just one of those things that was almost taboo to discuss.
So they were like getting like cars, or their mom or parents were getting
houses,
paid for, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I bring up Reggie Bush because right now, the UNLV case going on right now is the first major thing that's going on with the current NIL system. So UNLV is 3-0 right now. They're ranked top 25. This is one of the best seasons they've ever had. Their current quarterback.
This is for football.
This is for football. Yeah. Their current quarterback, Matthew Sluka. He's actually left the school. Undefeated school, top 25 ranked, like I said, over $100,000 NIL dispute. UNLV essentially told him if he signs with UNLV, comes in, that he's going to get $100,000. Apparently that's not the case. From what I'm reading, they've only given my man $3,000 and he's not happy about it.
Yeah, that ain't nothing.
Right.
You're talking about a slap in the face.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
100,000 to 3,000.
Yeah.
That don't even cover my tuition.
I was like, I
That
got
don't
us
even
a
cover
top
books,
25.
right? The books aren't even covered.
Man. Shoot.
I can still gotta eat. You know what I mean?
man.
So that's $3. You sure it's $3 grand?
They said it was $3 grand. Well, they said they were going to try to put him on as.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they said they were going to try to
do it a whole
like
$100 grand at one time. Give them increments, 30 grand, 30 grand, 30 grand,
something like that.
40. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently they were going to try to do like a monthly stipend of a dedicated amount, and he said, "Nah, brother, I need all my chips with the dip."
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, and apparently their one of their running backs is leaving as well. But they both declared a red shirt. So they're redshirting this year, and then they're going to transfer next year. So this is almost like a void season. But Michael Allen is the running back for the team, and he's leaving over a playing time dispute. So he's out of there as well. So it's a little controversy going on with NIL. I think this is going to be the first big kind of fork in the road on what's going to happen going forward.
What do you think the best resolve for both parties would be if they wanted him to continue playing?
There's gonna have to be some parameters put in prior to all these deals taking place.
Are they gonna? So are they? Do they already sign contracts for that?
I don't know. I'm assuming there's some paperwork taking place at this point. I mean, if you sign with it, if you transfer to a team, then you're gonna have to sign some type of document saying that I'm with this team and I'm enrolled here. So, with NIL being such a big aspect of these kids going to these schools now and what's being promised, there's gonna have to be some more parameters put in on what's gonna be paid out, when it's gonna be paid out, and I would assume, if they can afford it, especially the families of the top athletes, and if they can afford to get, a lawyer involved, that's going to be the next step. You would think that would be,
But it's a shame that as long as the NIL been, established and doing this for players, since we already knew there were rumors about the top players getting cars and whatever, we always should, try to remember that. You got to look out for yourself first.
For sure.
Always going there, Yeah, they can paint a pretty picture, but think about you first.
For sure.
CYA.
So you guys, Doug always starts a segment with a story, and I got a story for you guys.
Okay, I like stories.
Once upon a time, you guys know I used to work in property management. And I had a resident that she would come in. She had this secret admirer. She started a new relationship. People like to gossip and what's going on in their lives.
Oh, yeah.
So every time that she would come in, she would give us a little bit more and more information about her secret love life. But she didn't really want to say who it was just because she wanted to protect his identity. Well, one day she actually kind of squeaked because she just, had top bragging rights. She ended up telling us that she was secretly dating Keanu Reeves.
Stop.
John Wick?
John Wick.
John Wick out
Constantine.
No, Neo.
Neo.
That was the worst, man. Okay, continue.
And it just became an ongoing thing just to see, because we were like, oh, okay, well, have you FaceTimed him? Is
Right.
he
Is he
asking you
real?
for
Catfish.
money? What is going on? Well, she was like, yeah, he doesn't really like to talk much. I've met his mother. So she had all these elaborate tales, but I'm like, do you even know who Keanu Reeves actually is to even say that?
Right.
Or are you getting scammed?
Right.
So imagine thinking you're in a romance with a Hollywood heartthrob, maybe say somebody like a Brad Pitt, only to find out you've been conned out of thousands of dollars. Sounds like a plot twist from a movie, right?
Wow.
But unfortunately, it's a real life drama unfolding for two women in Spain. So scammers posed as Brad Pitt himself online, targeting fans through a fan page dedicated to the Oscar-winning actor. These two women in Spain were lured into believing that,
They were
they
really
had
talking to
full-blown
Keanu
relationships with Brad Pitt.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Excuse me.
Exchanging messages over time, and they were completely convinced. Well, over time, the money that they were sending, they were manipulated into it. The women were sending very large amounts of money. One ended up sending 150,000 euros. And then baby mama number 2 and
The side chick.
was sending over 175,000 euros.
Wait, you
He
a
made
side
over
fish? You a side
300?
chick catfish?
A side chick catfish.
yes.
Why in
crazy.
the world?
Yeah.
Okay, so first
Two
red flag.
women.
Why would you be giving Brad Pitt money? If anything, you're hooking
Right.
up with him. Maybe there'd be some sugar daddy privileges, right?
Yeah, I would hope.
I would hope.
I ain't buying a small fry if I'm dating Brad Pitt. he get all of it. He
Man,
paying for all of it.
With the ice too,
Right.
even though it's free.
I ain't seen. I
no.
better not look at my wallet.
Oh my god!
And then just imagine thinking that you've been one to hit the lottery, essentially, and
You're
then-
dating Brad Pitt.
Right. You're bragging, you're elated, you feel, special, but then he's scamming you. And it turns out Spanish authorities arrested 5 people in connection with this scam. And that happened to be part of a
Was one of
larger
them Brad
criminal
Pitt?
organization. Was one of them who?
Was one of them Brad Pitt? No.
right.
It was probably George Clooney.
Oh, God. Oceans.
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 Oceans 18 coming soon.
But apparently news made its way to Brad because there was a response from his publicist, Matthew Hiltzik, and he emphasized that Pitt has no authorized social media accounts, and I can vouch for that. Once upon a time,
Rachel tried to slide in them
I tried to
DMs.
slide in the DMs, and there's really no contact for him. You just have to go through his management and hope that you get any answer. And this was for a professional connection. I'm just joking. But that also highlights how vulnerable people can be for these types of scams. And we've heard of scams, throughout the years, the Nigerian prince,
Yep.
all of the ones that are geared towards taking advantage of somebody. A lot of them being seniors or lonely
man.
people, or using high profile people to make people feel like they're special, and it's pretty sad. So a warning for all that it's just a reminder to be cautious of unsolicited online messages, especially for people that are celebrities. Not saying that you might not be that diamond in the rough, but really evaluate your chances of something like that. So these scammers are facing serious charges, including fraud, money laundering, and the investigation is still
That's
ongoing.
crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
That's
make sure
crazy,
your
bro.
celebrity has that blue check. Okay?
You can buy that. That don't even
buy
matter
that.
no
Buy
more.
that now.
$15.
No.
Right.
150,000 euros.
That's what it is.
$15.
$15.
That's
Good
it.
to go.
Hey, you buy the blue check and then you just go ahead and
buy the
start
blue
sliding
check
in
and you
DMs.
Ain't that a one-time buy too?
Yeah.
That's a monthly.
It's a
Oh, that's a
monthly.
monthly?
I think it's only
Yeah,
like
it's
what?
monthly.
I mean, if you getting 100,
It's
If
more.
you getting
It's
100,
it's
If you getting
more than
100
my Planet
euros,
Fitness.
you can afford $15
yeah,
a month.
nah, I
for
can
a
afford
little bit.
15-year-old. It's cool. It's
Go
cool.
ahead.
I'm good to go with that.
Take it out her tab.
Yeah, for sure. She think I'm Idris Elba out here.
Right. Oh my God.
Hey, for 150,000 euro, you might be. Right.
I feel
Man,
it.
you hear me?
I promise.
Sure. Pour another zero on there, I'll be Donald Trump.
You were the very best.
That's crazy. I'm still not over Ray trying to get into the skybox though. Trying to get into the skybox.
She was trying to get to Brad Pitt for business purposes.
That's cool. I'll be in the skybox.
My Instagram is at Rach with the Y.
General Motors will begin laying off 1,695 workers at its Fairfax assembly plant in Kansas. The company said in a worker adjustment and retaining notification notice earlier this week. The first of 2 rounds of layoffs will begin November 18th and will include the temporary layoff of 686 full-time workers and the termination of 250 temporary employees. Automotive News reported on Saturday, citing the company filing to the state of Kansas. Starting January 12th, 759 full-time workers will be temporarily laid off, the report added. Now, we were talking about taxes and inflation and shipping issues that's going on with the ports, and now you have one of the major companies laying off 1,695 workers.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
That's tough.
And that's that's in Kansas now. Okay, so we're the manufacturing of automobiles here in Michigan.
Right.
Right.
So I'm sure it's going to hit Michigan as well
for sure.
at some point. Now, can you just imagine the big 3, if you will, laying off that many workers? You know what I mean?
That's tough.
I can't even.
Unemployment about to be crazy.
That's why I'm like the line. Oh my God.
But the desperation of people of being laid off, and what does that mean for our homeless population, and what could that create for families in distress?
I of course, here in Michigan, we know people and family members that work for factories, if you will, that produce parts for these cars. Any given day, they're being sent home.
Right.
We have no work for you. You can miss a day, you can miss 2 days out of a week. That's a huge impact to somebody's income for the family.
For sure.
So you miss 4 days in 2 weeks. That 2 week check is going to be like a 1 week check for real.
Right.
If
This is
that,
after people
after
are already
taxes.
probably living paycheck to paycheck to make things meet.
So it's the economy is pretty tough.
Yeah.
And at this point, you have to take other measures to have a side hustle, a business, an extra job, or 2.
Or 3.
But it's tough if you got children
It is
at
tough.
home as well. Even the cost of having somebody watch your kids, or daycare, or just
Daycare would just take your whole
daycare
check.
alone.
Oh, yeah.
Take the whole
It's
thing.
That's
been
rent.
years. I
That's-
have to tell
that's
you,
rent
there
right
was one
there.
point, especially when I was waiting tables, where essentially I was going to work to pay for daycare and nothing else. So really, why am I not just sitting at home raising my own kids?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough because if you think year over year what's happening, there's plenty of videos out there. And we spoke about it earlier with just groceries. I seen one video of a guy going to a grocery store. He had a receipt, or no, he looked on his phone. He kept a list that he bought from that particular grocery store. This was, I think, 4 years ago. He bought the same exact thing this year.
Oh yeah, and it
was like an
doubled.
online
It
order.
Like
doubled.
triple.
Yeah,
Double, triple.
same exact thing. He didn't leave anything off. I think the original bill was like $60-$70, and he bought the same exact thing this year. And it was like $130.
Yep.
And it wasn't even a lot. It was something that he used at that time to sustain him for a couple weeks. He had a better job, but you got to think that, there's a lot of individuals that aren't able to kind of, maneuver and maybe grow their income like that. So they're kind of stuck in limbo trying to figure it out.
So, all in favor of starting a group OnlyFans page?
Group?
Yeah.
That would be
I will
new,
show
huh?
feet.
Okay.
We will show toes.
I don't know.
have
Corn.
to see
Yeah,
what
I
it
got
is.
the basketball player feet, and I ain't trying to see
We
that.
finna shake hands.
Somebody like it. Somebody like it.
Finna shake
Well,
hands.
Doug was gonna do his.
Oh, his beard. Oh
He
yeah,
was
he gonna kill it. He was gonna kill it.
So what do you do in the event of these desperate times, if you will, when it comes to making income and sustaining your household? How does one do that? Let's just say a single person. How does one do that? I have to work 3 jobs. Seriously. So I read this book years ago called Seven Streams of Income. So just based on that book, it says once you master your job, start something else.
Right.
I'm tired, boss.
Yeah, I hear you. But in today's market, so take me. So I went to an art college, got all my stuff. I'm a professional photographer. 10 years ago, I didn't need another job. My son was born. Everything I did was off my photography.
Right.
Wow.
Every bill paid, every car note, everything. Today, I can't do that. I have to have another job
Yeah.
to make up for what I'm not getting from my primary job. It's crazy. And then I have to have another job, start a business or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's so crucial in today's market.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And don't miss a day or two.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's
And
like
your
Yeah.
paycheck missing a
2
couple
months.
hours.
Right.
I feel like you
It's
gotta
it's
rush.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's tough. So
Yeah.
you have to, cut back in areas because something's coming down
Yeah.
and you're gonna need X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You can't party as much, or you can't travel as much, or you can't buy.
Shoes.
We gotta.
You can't buy something like you used to could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just a simple,
You know.
something simple to make you happy.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Get by through those things.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, if you don't have the time to actually add on or try to gain income, then you have to reduce. There's no other way to do it. You
Right.
got to reduce, and the biggest way to do that is really look at. I mean, we all have resources. I mean, we got a computer in our pocket all day. There's a lot of resources out there. So I mean, if you just take the time to really sit back and say, what are the necessities that I have to pay for monthly? What's that bill coming out to around about? And then compare that to what you got coming in. You really have to figure that information out. And then kind of go
balances
from there. You
pretty
got
much,
to.
right.
That base level has to be there, or else you're gonna get swept up. And next thing you know, you don't have any other option but to get something else.
Yeah, and then you gotta like trim the fat. Like
Well, look, ain't no more fat left.
we've been trimming.
I'm
it
out here
here.
starving,
Just
Yeah. No, we totally get it.
So-
stomach touching back.
Before the break, we were discussing kind of how everything is impacting the workers, especially with the potential layoffs with a major automobile company. Where does it stop, though? I think Donovan was making a really good point of people having the resource because generally everybody has a smartphone, and I can admit for sure myself that I would say I was living a more luxurious type of life. But at some point, people have cut down. People are already making sacrifices and then doing 10 jobs in one day. So where does your effort equal out to where you actually can sustain? Because that kind of sounds insane to be able to be overworked and not even be able to enjoy small things in life. We're just robots at that point. So that's where something has to change.
on autopilot.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So there's a kids movie out with Jerry Seinfeld called something with the bees, right? You guys remember that? But anyway,
Was
it's
it animated?
A B movie?
B movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's animated. Yeah. So he said a phrase in there. What do they expect us to do? Work until we die?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the average American lives.
Yeah.
They just work.
Yeah.
And as Rachel was stating, when do you enjoy it? By the time you try to enjoy it, you done checked out.
Right.
You know?
Or you're too
You know?
old to really get to do some of the things that were on your
injuries and
Right.
from
Yeah. That were on your
longevity of
list.
working.
So I don't know. And the phone, TikTokers, they're doing their thing, and YouTubers doing their thing, and they're creating economy. But now there's a thing called the gig economy.
Yeah.
Uber driving
Uber
Yeah.
driving.
is a gig economy.
Yeah.
Right?
Lyft.
Lyft,
Instacart.
Instacart. All those things are gig economy jobs where you get no benefits, no insurance, no retirement, no nothing. You're getting paid for the day.
Yeah.
Basically, they're day laborers.
And you got to do everything else.
You know, so now you take those jobs and then you try to go out and get insurance.
Yeah.
Can't afford it.
You can't afford
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
It's
never.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
And you know, and honestly,
Sure.
if I wasn't a veteran, I really wouldn't have insurance.
Got you.
Yeah.
No, it's
Truthfully.
tough.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
It's so just because I'm a veteran, I go to the VA. I go every day. My toenail hurt.
Y'all know Doug be in there.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
rub my
Like,
feet.
I got
Rub my
this,
feet.
right, I got this hangnail.
Bunion cracking right
I got a hangnail and a bunion.
But
Man.
you know, you
One itch, one burn.
So I went to the emergency a few months back, right? I went to the
Yeah.
emergency room. I had a headache that was just killer. $300 something. She's cracking. $300 and something.
Wait a minute. For what?
Just because I had a headache, they just because they saw me, they didn't really give me anything.
Yeah.
Because they told you to go grab some
Right.
Advil at Walgreens.
Right, or
That little plastic
CVS.
wristband cost, man.
$300 something for me to sit, and I sat in the it wasn't even the waiting room for about 2 hours before they saw me.
What?
But my head was pounding. So
Yeah.
that little Advil wouldn't have did a thing.
Yeah, no.
$300 and some for the PA. It wasn't even the doctor
Yeah.
Wow.
PA would have been paying for it.
to see me for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds like we might need to take a little page out this Canadian book.
Yeah.
Free healthcare.
Stand
Well, I
by
mean-
America.
I know me and Mel were talking about it earlier. I've always thought the greatest equalizer was investing, and you'd be surprised what $20, $30 every 2 weeks will do,
Man, just $5 a week.
or $5 a
Yeah,
week.
just starting somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, just a basic Robinhood account at the bare minimum.
Weeble.
Just
You know,
investing in something small.
read
You're good to go.
anything.
And as always, we gotta, end the things for the show with a little bit of food for thought with our Jay Jones, Miss Realtor, but she likes to pick our brain. And it's gonna be juicy because her husband here, y'all.
Oh,
We got
snap.
questions.
What we got today?
But I'm not going to try to make it hard for y'all
Yeah,
to
right.
this week. So I'm going to keep it light.
They gotta ride in
All right,
the car
Professor.
back together, you know.
I'm going to keep it light. All right, y'all. Who should pay on the first date?
I thought you said we was going to keep it light.
It is.
All
Who
right.
should pay on the first date?
Who asked for the date?
Does it depend on who asked whom?
Look at that. All these
Look at all
cosigns
these,
in here.
right, all these cosigns.
It depends on who
asked for
asks.
the date.
Who asked?
All right, well, let's go ahead and kick it to the fellas to answer that first.
Oh, go ahead.
We
dude.
already asked.
Sounds like y'all just got a team
Oh,
We in
effort.
agreement.
Yeah, no.
we
Who
it's
asked?
a unanimous decision.
How are they all in agreement?
Wait, who paid on our first date?
I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see that? Yeah.
I'm still high fiving
Yeah,
mentally.
yeah,
That was
You see how that worked
That was
out?
so smooth.
This is a closed case, sister.
Hey, hi, Dave Chappelle said, gotcha.
And this is where the food for thought is going
This is where
to
it
turn
ends.
into a food fight.
This is where it's done.
Fight. Okay.
Food fight. So
Okay.
the guys are all in agreement that whoever asks is whom should pay for the date. What are your thoughts on that, Rach?
I got mixed feelings for that because it's going to work out whatever's best in my favor. And okay, before you judge, let me clear my throat on that. Okay, so generally, I would say societal-wise, a guy is asking a woman out on a date. Now, for me, in my case, if I'm not interested and I don't want to feel like I owe you something or there's anything to continue, I'm at least going to offer to pay for myself, if not the whole bill.
But do you even go in the first place if you're not interested?
Well, it just depends. I can't say I know somebody until at least I take some time with them.
Okay.
I mean, there might be an initial attraction, but, after
Free
a
meal.
conversation, I might hear about...
I'm gonna
Did you
need
say
that.
free loud?
He said free meal.
Need that lobster tail.
Oh, he said...
Need that lobster
Y'all
mac
go
and
ahead
cheese.
start
Yeah,
asking her
I'm
out.
looking in the back of the menu.
anything.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
getting everything.
He said, I'm looking at the back of the menu. Stupid.
No king crab legs for you, sir.
But with the extra butter.
He goes
Say,
to
oh, you gonna pay?
he take
Right.
it to the old country buffet.
And bring them by the buckets. You heard me? Bring them by the bucket.
But yeah, I analyze that, but I think it's just probably the chivalrous standard for the man to pay. But also, I would shout out, men don't get taken advantage of, because there is a whole slew of women that go on dates, and I shouldn't be telling our secrets, should I?
Oh, it's already out there.
Keep
Let 'em
going.
out,
Keep
let 'em
going.
out.
They
No,
should
because
know, fair knowledge. But that make it a habit to consistently go out on dates with guys just to get free meals.
Yeah.
yeah,
There
but the
are
girls
those
that are
ones.
doing that are online and giving us the free game anyway. They killing y'all out here.
They also
That's
getting these
crazy.
free Happy Meals too.
Right.
So,
It's like you were playing like EBT Renter Man. Or something. I don't know. Like, what's it? Like you getting a free meal like every single time, lunch, breakfast.
She don't even gotta like you. She
You know.
she telling you to send her money for lunch.
So one of my boys.
That's
right?
crazy.
Story time.
Yeah, definitely. So he doesn't take women out on dates anymore. Well, he's married now.
Okay.
But so
Yeah,
recently,
so
Oh, yeah,
shouldn't
to change
be.
that one real fast.
recently married. So in the previous years, he does not, and he stopped taking women out on dates to restaurants and things of that nature. He'd go to the coffee shop, he'd go to the library, a bookstore, or something like that,
Yeah.
where he can actually try to get to know the person, right?
Yeah.
But when he does that, most of the women turn him down because they're trying to get that free meal or that
Something.
exclusive
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a good way to
kind
weed
of
them
deal.
out.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I can agree with that.
I like that approach.
I can agree
that's
with
a
that.
smart
The
chess
library,
move.
no.
Well, I'm just
but-
saying a quiet place where you're not spending a whole bunch of money,
Right.
but you can get to know that person. You know what I'm saying? So, I thought it was
So Ms.
pretty
Why
good
not
deal.
the library? What's wrong with the library?
Yeah, what's
You
up with
can't
that?
talk. How are you going to get to know me if we can't talk in there?
We can talk.
the upper room.
You just gonna
go up there.
judge me
I
off my
wanna
reading
know.
habits?
Right. I want to know if
You just want
the
to see if I can
individual
read.
is. Thank you. You know, because
Right.
it's hard out here. I feel
Out here
like
reading like Floyd.
But with with the dating scene, I'm off market. I've been off market for a while. But with the dating scene, it's dangerous. I feel like out here for honestly for the women. Because now I feel like now that I'm looking at the dating scene and studying what's going on, men are starting to get smarter now. You know, we're starting to finesse and learn from the finessers. You get what I'm saying?
The
it's
game
a
has
different-
changed. I
yeah,
wouldn't
it
say
is.
somebody's
The
gotten
game has
smarter
changed.
or stupider, but it's just.
I mean, it has to be.
The pond is different.
It's like
Somebody
the
peed in the
economy.
pool.
Somebody has to go. You
Yeah.
know, it has to be a Libra scale in the mix here. You know, it has to be a Libra scale in the mix.
Y'all Libras.
I've
Yeah,
heard of plenty of stories of guys actually inviting the girl on a date and it kind of goes left.
And
they've
she pays
left-
for it.
Yeah, the guys
They have left
they
the
left
restaurant.
Yeah.
the restaurant.
And she has to
She's
pay
just
for
there,
it.
like, hey, I got to run to the bathroom.
Yeah,
real quick.
Y'all
man.
just
I've
running
seen
game on
that
each
so
other.
much
Yeah,
now.
it's-
But I
it's kinda
think,
crazy
I
out
think
here.
the final thought that we need to chew on is how you paid for the date, ma'am.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna get back
give
to
us,
that.
Give us that story. Give us some tea.
She invited me. That's why.
No, you kind of invited yourself.
Oh,
I did.
Ooh.
I did. Okay, break this
is
down.
like
'cause
that
I don't
episode of
remember this.
Martin where you get different stories on how you guys met. So
Sing the song.
we
right.
So no, we met because I was at work, and then the guys that were working in the office like across the way, they're like, "Oh yeah, Jane's over there working by herself," and Donovan's like, "Oh, she's over there," and I thought he had a girlfriend because he did have a girlfriend when we first met.
Oh, this is getting good.
Yeah,
Who
she
stole
did
who?
her homework, is what she's saying.
So yeah,
Okay.
so I knew he had a girlfriend, so nothing pursued there. So he came over and he was like, "Oh, so you're working by yourself in the office?" And then he was like, "What are you doing today?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm probably just gonna go to the beach later." And then he just kind of was like, "Oh, I want to come too."
Hold on. 'Cause you making me sound real corny right now. That ain't how it happened.
Yes, it
I came
is.
in smooth. First of all,
He had his now and later gators on.
Nah, I'm just saying, fresh lineup.
With the blade haircut.
I'm talking about fresh lineup with the back mirror. I had the back done too.
Okay.
Stop it. So we ended up just, he ended up meeting me in Holland at the beach. And then we were like, we're hungry. And so I just was like, I'll pay. I'm a big girl. And so I just paid for it. I don't think there was like any thought in my head like, oh, he should pay. It was just like me being me. And I was just like, I'll pay for it. I'm good.
Okay, well, there you have it. It sounds like it just is case dependent, but the moral of the story is make your work husband your real husband.
Wow.
I mean, that's how it happened. And then from there on out, I think like just going forward, just dating each other, it was never like, it was never something that we ever talked about. So it was just like, he'll pay, I'll pay.
Okay.
Yes, like, so every dinner, I didn't look at him to pay for everything. It was just like, oh, I'll pay this time or he'll pay this time. So I think it's just dependent on the people in the dating pool. You got no boyfriend. They don't like short nail.
Oh, honey.
Oh,
Why your
honey.
finger do like that?
Honey.
So back in the building, it's the crew, and we want to thank our man, Sportsman Jones.
Hey,
In the building.
Yes, sir.
Slide through.
Yes, sir.
Coming to hang out with us here with the crew, and we had a great show. Glad you
You
came
joined
along.
us. Thank you for bringing one
was
more
fun.
wing to the plate.
No problem.
Adding.
Yeah, so make sure you guys check us out next week. We'll be back at the same bat channel, if you will, same bat time, and more great topics for you, and gonna enhance that sports segment
For sure.
Oh yeah.
and get that up to par, if you will.
No problem.
And coming with all the sports. You know, we might not do wiffle ball, but we're gonna do
Hey, we might have to do pickleball pretty soon, but
Right.
you know, we'll see how that goes.
Real fast.
Very fast.
Pickleball course be getting aggressive.
so make sure you guys keep it locked and check us out next week. And
Signing off, it's your girl Rach, aka Rach with the Y,
And your girl Jane Jones, your local realtor.
newcomer,
Sportsman Jones.
In big country.
and of course,
the one and only, I'm just gonna say the one and only.
okay,
Oh, the one and only.
only DJ Metro.
DJ Metro.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, stay hungry for more chicken wings and fried rice.
Combo number 2 for with the egg roll.